North Korean leader Kim Jong Un has said he sees no reason to avoid talks with the United States if Washington drops its demand that Pyongyang give up nuclear weapons. Speaking at the Supreme People's Assembly in Pyongyang, Kim stressed he would never abandon the country's nuclear arsenal in exchange for the lifting of sanctions, describing nuclear weapons as essential for his nation's survival. Personally, I still have fond memories of US President Donald Trump, Kim said, according to state media KCNA. This marked the first time Kim has referred to Trump by name since his return to office earlier this year. Kim and Trump met 3 times during Trump's first presidency, including at the historic 2018 Singapore summit. Those meetings raised hopes for peace on the Korean Peninsula, but ultimately collapsed in 2019 after the US insisted on complete denuclearization before sanctions relief. Kim's new remarks come as South Korea's liberal government, led by President Lee Jae-myung, urges Washington to reopen dialogue with Pyongyang. 6 years have passed since peace talks broke down, and tensions remain high. US-South Korean joint military exercises, often featuring nuclear-capable assets, have been condemned by the North as preparations for nuclear war. Kim has designated South Korea his country's main enemy, refusing to engage in dialogue with Seoul. Instead, he has directed his words toward Washington and Trump personally, signaling a preference for direct US-North Korea engagement while sidelining the South. North Korea has been under United Nations sanctions and arms embargoes since 2006, when it conducted its first nuclear test. Yet sanctions have not stopped Pyongyang from advancing its nuclear program. According to South Korea's President Lee, the North is producing 15 to 20 nuclear bombs a year. He argues that freezing production would be a useful first step, followed by medium-term negotiations to reduce stockpiles and eventually full denuclearization once trust is rebuilt. Kim rejected that idea outright. He called Washington and Seoul's recent offers for phased talks disingenuous, saying they were designed to weaken his regime. He added, "The world already knows what the United States does after it makes a country give up its nuclear weapons and disarms. We will never give up our nuclear weapons." Experts note that Kim's remarks are both a challenge and an invitation. Rachel Minyoung Lee of the US-based Stimson Center called Kim's statement an overture. By invoking Trump directly, Kim appears to be inviting the US president to rethink Washington's denuclearization first policy. But Kim's comments also sought to drive a wedge between Washington and Seoul. Analysts suggest that by dismissing South Korea as irrelevant, Kim wants to pressure Trump into treating the nuclear issue as a bilateral matter between the US and North Korea, excluding the South from negotiations. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has expressed frustration with Pyongyang's refusal to engage. He told Reuters that while there were no concrete US-North Korea talks underway, he believed a phased approach remained the only realistic path. "Our main task now is to create the conditions for dialogue," Lee said. Lee also stressed that sanctions and maximum pressure had not solved the problem. Instead, they have hardened North Korea's determination and strengthened Kim's argument that nuclear weapons are non-negotiable for regime survival. For Kim Jong Un, nuclear weapons remain the cornerstone of national security and bargaining power. Nuclear remains the factor that keep Kim in power, with plans in the past to destroy North Korean nuclear capabilities. Will Trump take that chance again, or will use the olive branch of diplomacy?